Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a full face of my old makeup. This is old makeup week on my channel. I just wanted to feature older makeup that I really like, and in this video I did also want to talk about when is makeup too old or when would it expire. I thought that would be fun to talk about and hear what you guys think, and I really enjoy all the products here. I don't really have anything that is super old per se. I did mention at one point that I did do a big declutter in about 2015, 2016, where I did get rid of a lot of makeup that was about 10 years old at the time. So the palette I'm going to use today, I did actually buy 2 years ago. This is the Douce palette by Juvias Place. I bought it in January of 2018, and this palette did come out in 2017. So let's get into this video. Here is the Douce palette. You may have seen this a lot. This is one of Juvias's most popular palettes, I think, and yeah, I really enjoy this color story. I decided to change my shirt because it was completely covered in dog hair, and I did want to mention that I did put on eye primer, and I set it with this color here, light pink from this Lorac palette. I like to do that when I'm going to do a pink look, just because it kind of adds a slightly pink base. Back to the Douce palette. I really like this. I think it's a fantastic color story. I have heard a lot of people say that they feel like the color selection in this one is a little bit random. And in a way I kind of agree, but it still kind of makes sense to me. I'm gonna go with the color Creme here, which is this light pink. And I just wanted to focus some older makeup that I still think is really great on my channel, and I want to continue to do that. I still do want to buy new stuff, but I also want to enjoy the older makeup I have because, you know, I bought it and I like it, and I don't want to get caught up in this new mentality that, you know, I think we see rampant in the beauty community for sure. Been watching a lot more smart consumerism and anti-consumerism videos, and I think it's really interesting. And yeah, I just want to keep that in mind just kind of in general. I'm going to go with the color Crepes here on the outer corner. I really like this color. I think it's really nice. Another thing I wanted to talk about was older makeup and when is it too old to use? Does it expire? What we think about that. And I know a lot of people have done videos on this, and you can check batch codes and see when something was actually made versus, you know, when you bought it. And I just think in general for myself, when it comes to powder products, eyeshadows, blush, that sort of thing, I think it could last quite a while. I mean, it could last 5-10 years. I think I base it more off of how it's working and if the textures changed, if the colors have changed. So I've seen people say that, you know, eyeshadow's not working as well, but they're still using it. You know, I think as long as it's not causing irritation, I think that's the big thing to remember. If a product is starting to irritate your skin, I would say definitely stop using it, because it's really not worth, you know, getting an infection or skin rash or something like that. I'm going to take a bit of the dark browned chocolate on the outer corner. I don't have a ton of older makeup because I did do a big declutter of very old makeup back end of 2015, beginning of 2016. I had a ton of stuff that was very old, you know, kind of 8-10 years. And some of it was fine, but there were definitely things that were expired. And particularly, I remember an incident with a liquid highlighter I had. I just grabbed it one day and used it. I had used it before, but not for a while. And immediately my skin started burning. Very painful. And I washed it off and I looked at the bottle, and there was an expiration date of 2 years prior to that. And I had received that back in Birchbox. I used to have Birchbox a long time ago, which honestly was not a very good subscription service in my opinion, but yeah, that obviously was very expired. And before that, I really was not keeping track at all. And I think liquid products is something very important to keep track of, because those I think will definitely expire much faster than powder products. So those I try not to keep around too long, and I try not to have very many of them. I mean, I have a lot less foundation, concealer, those things than I do, you know, like eyeshadows and blush. I'm gonna go with this green shade here, Macaroons, for the lid. I feel like I kind of need to wet this brush. Okay, just gonna do a final blend here. I did some winged eyeliner, and I'm gonna use the Covergirl Illuminating Primer. I talked about this a lot last year and I really like it. I'm just kind of putting it directly on the face, and I've been actually blending primer out with a beauty sponge lately, which is new. I had never done that, but I've seen people do it before and I thought, you know, why not? And it actually does work. As far as the term of old makeup and what is old, it's kind of crazy because on YouTube, I feel like people only consider something new basically for the first month. I hear so many people saying, oh yeah, this is an older palette and it came out like 3 months ago, which is just crazy to me because that's not old. That's a really new product, you know, and at that pace, how could we possibly, you know, use the things we're buying if it just came out 3 months ago and you already are considering that to be an old product? I just think that's very interesting, and I'm not trying to bash people or anything like that. I just hear these kind of comments a lot. And the other thing that is very interesting is about reviews, and when reviews come out. Something I've heard a lot of YouTubers say, well, you know, if I don't have it in the first week, there's no point in doing a review because people won't watch it. I've heard a lot of people say that. I'm gonna use the Catrice foundation, and that is crazy, but I have also noticed that myself, that reviews on, on products that came out more than, you know, 1 to 1.5 weeks before definitely get a lot less views. It's pretty crazy. You know, I think a big thing that I mentioned in my video a few days ago is, you know, as a viewer, we do have power over these things, you know, and if most people are not watching certain videos, then people stop making them and they make the ones that people watch. So I really can't blame the creators because they're just going off of what the viewers are watching and what the numbers are saying. And I think, you know, that's a very interesting thing, an important thing to remember, that, you know, the videos that we watch and comment on and blah, 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 those are the ones that people will keep making. So, you know, I think that says a lot. Also still love this CoverGirl concealer. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna use this Charlotte Tilbury powder. This was so hyped up a few years ago. I actually only bought this last year, but I said it's definitely overhyped. I mentioned that, I think, in an overhyped products video, and I still do think it is, but I gotta say, I mean, I do like it. I was project panning some powders, and now I'm kind of shopping my stash for different ones since I finished one recently. And I gotta say, this is a really nice powder. Is it $45 good? That I don't know, but I like it and I'll use it. I set my under eyes with the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, which I love for the under eye. I finally finished that Lancome powder, so I went on to this one, which was my holy grail for years. I'm gonna stick with this. I remember when this was so hyped up on YouTube, people would talk about it all the time as if it was the best thing ever. And people were usually setting their whole face with it, not their under eye. I only like it for the under eye because it has a pink tint to it, but anyway, I hear nobody talking about that anymore, or kind of Bare Minerals in general, but that's a great one. For bronzer, I'm gonna use this MAC one. This is Baiana Bronze, and this was that Tutti Frutti collection. This was several years ago. I bought this at a CCO, cosmetic company outlet, which I haven't been to one of those in a very long time. I think I bought this at one of those about 2 years ago, and I think it was from a collection of, you know, even older than that. I should look it up actually when that was, because I would be very curious. That was in the day of people were very hyped up on MAC, and it's definitely not so much the case anymore. But when I first started watching YouTube, which was quite a while ago, about 11 years ago now, which is crazy, MAC was definitely the most popular brand that people talked about, and I owned a lot of MAC products because that was, you know, what people talked about, and that's what I heard about. And I really like a lot of their products, and it's definitely better priced than a lot of other higher end brands, but I don't really buy much from them anymore. But the products I still have, I really enjoy. All right, now let's talk about something very old. This is a MAC blush. It is called Prim and Proper. This is from the Liberty of London collection, which I bought when it released, and that was in 2009. This blush is 11 years old. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Gorgeous mauve. And honestly, look, I've used it, but not that much. But these MAC blushes also last forever. And this works just as well. It's not irritating my skin. You know, I'm not going to get rid of it. I feel like it's such a nice mauve color. It's kind of in that family of, you know, Tarte Exposed, those kind of nude blushes. It's beautiful. I love it. Here's something that was very popular when it came out. This is the Colourpop Gimme More highlighting palette. It says I like your face, which is not the name of it. Weird. Anyway, when this came out, people were raving about it. It was supposed to be kind of a dupe for that Anastasia Glow kit with Nicole Guerrero. I've rearranged these a little bit and mixed it with that other highlighter palette that they had, but this color is my favorite in the palette, and that one is called Upgrade. It's kind of got a pink shift to it. I really enjoy it, and I would say this isn't my favorite formula though, but it is quite good, and I do like the colors in here. I don't even know if Colourpop actually still sells this now that I think about it. Like, that is an intense highlight. Need to blend that out. I'm using luminous light to blend this out. These hourglass powders though, I will say they have stood the test of time because people were raving about these for quite a while, and they still do get a lot of hype. I think they're good though. I really enjoy them, and I can't really say anything negative, especially about this one. It's fantastic. Right, I did brows and mascara, and I used the L'Oreal Voluminous. Mascara is something that I'm curious about because I know some people are super strict about throwing out their mascara after 3 months. Some people say 6 months. I just kind of use it until it gets used up, which is usually about 3 to 9 months because I usually have only 1 or 2 open at a time. But I will say in the past, I was so cheap. I didn't want to buy new mascara. I would use the same mascara for years, and I would be trying to revive it and bring it back to life. That's not good. I did get an eye infection at one point. I'm not sure if it was from an old mascara or an old eyeliner, but after that, I'm like, no, I need to be very careful about those things. It's going around my eye area, but yeah, I don't keep a lot of mascaras on hand, therefore they get used up pretty quickly anyway. And lip products is another one that I would be more careful about just because, yeah, you're putting it on your lips. You don't want to wear something super old. But I think, you know, 2-3 years, as long as like the scent hasn't changed or it's not irritating your lips. So I'm going to use this NYX Butter Gloss in Strawberry Parfait. I have had lip glosses and lipsticks and liquid lipsticks expire for sure. I love this, by the way. Particularly Anastasia lip glosses. I had 2 that expired and they were less than 1 year old, which is really unusual. And what happened is I put one on one day and it just felt really watery and it smelled like paint. And usually those smell sweet. I've smelled the Anastasia lip glosses. I was like, okay, clearly this is expired. And it was only 9 months old at the time. And then it happened with a second one. So I don't know if it's sat in Ulta for a very long time because I do have one now that I've had this one for about a year, maybe even more, maybe like a year and a half. And I still think it's okay. It doesn't smell bad. It still smells sweet. And I haven't used it for probably over a month, but I probably should use that. Yeah, I would just say, you know, be careful with lip products for sure, because those, you know, they're in your mouth area. You don't want to be using something that's old and expired. I will say I have a lot of glitter fallout from that green eyeshadow from the Juvias palette. I think initially I should have just gone in with a wet brush from the get-go, but that is okay. I really like how this look turned out, actually. I think it's very nice. Let me know, do you have any of these products? I'm curious what you guys think about this whole old makeup and how, you know, something is considered old if it's only a couple months old, or, you know, actually older makeup several years. You know, when do you throw things away? When do you say, okay, it's expired? Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. That is it, and stay tuned for more old makeup week videos all week long, every day. That is it, and thank you so much for watching.